Hello everyone, I'm Paul McGuire Grimes. Scream 3 not only poses as the end of the Scream trilogy, but also a trilogy to Stab, the movie within a movie about the Woodsboro murders. Now what's tricky about this idea was how do you keep a franchise fresh when the rules of surviving a horror movie have now been done twice, and who could possibly be a new suspect for Sidney, Gale, and Dewey? Well, this conundrum would play a factor in how this tends to be the least popular in this franchise. This is Paul's trip to the movies and the second part in my Scream retrospective. Scream 3 comes with the franchise standard opening, but this time our victim happens to be Liev Schreiber's Cotton Weary and his girlfriend. Cotton was the original suspect in the death of Sidney's mom, Maureen Prescott, but now we know that Billy and Stu were the killers. More on Maureen in a little bit. Cotton hosted his own semi-salacious talk show called 100% Cotton and had filmed a cameo in Stab 3, which is currently filming. Cut to heightened security on the lot where Stab 3 is filming, which then reunites Gale, Dewey, and the actors playing them in Stab 3. Meanwhile, Sidney lives in a highly secure gated house. She works for a women's crisis hotline, but soon learns the return of Ghostface is upon her and her friends. Scream 3 has a terrific cast joining Neve Campbell, David Arquette, and Courtney Cox. Parker Posey is obviously one of the highlights of the entire franchise. She is rightfully playing into the soap opera style as Jennifer Jolie, who then plays Gale in Stab 3. She is the sole reason why Scream 3 is as funny as it is. Emily Mortimer and Jenny McCarthy also play actresses in Stab 3. Scream 3 also has significant roles for Scott Foley and Patrick Dempsey long before they joined the Shonda Rhimes TV universe. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention a small cameo by Carrie Fisher, who within her small screen time plays homage to Princess Leia.
Hi, excuse me, I am Gail Weathers, and I'm here researching with the police. This photo was taken at the studio. Her name is Maureen Prescott. Back then it was probably Roberts. Hey, are you...
No.
But you look just...
Like her? I've been hearing it all my life.
It's uncanny.
I was up for Princess Leia.
I mentioned earlier that Scream 3 tends to get a bad rap as the weak link in the franchise. Now there's a very obvious reason for this, and for me it comes down to the script. Kevin Williamson wrote an outline for this movie, but when he wrote the first film, and actually dig the overall story brought forth. He, however, was too busy writing and producing other projects like the Katie Holmes movie Teaching Mrs. Tingle and the TV series Dawson's Creek and Wasteland. So Aaron Kruger came in to write the screenplay for Scream 3. And it's very evident that Aaron Kruger wasn't able to bring the cunning sense of humor and deep pop culture references and film history that Williamson used to make the first two movies so successful. Now, while the script itself is lacking, I actually like the idea of placing the horrors in Hollywood on the set of Stab 3. It allows for some fun character banter with Parker Posey's Gale going up against Courtney Cox's Gale.
Oh my God. Listen, I know we've never met, and I don't mind you never returning my calls, but I have to tell you, after 2 films, I feel like I am in your mind.
Well, that would explain my constant headaches.
You know, I'm sorry things didn't work out on 60 Minutes too, but total entertainment, that's a pretty good fallback.
No, thank you. I'm sorry that things didn't work out with Brad Pitt, but being single, that's a pretty good fallback.
Gives me more time for my work. After all, Gail Weathers, you're such a complex character.
Oh, and to be played by an actress with such depth and range.
Jennifer, Nick said you wanted to... Gail.
Dewey.
Well, surprise, surprise. Someone dies and Gail comes running.
Gail, I think you'll really appreciate my character work in this one. Someone's helped me understand the real you.
Someone?
Your ruthless ambition, your private self-loathing, and that lost and lonely little girl inside.
Lost and lonely what?
You heard me. Thanks, Dewey.
There's a terrific scene with Sidney arriving on set, as it's an uncanny reproduction of her original house in Woodsboro. We see her reliving those memories and trauma all over again. I rewatched this film recently, and the subplot regarding Maureen Prescott being a former actress is actually quite topical in the #MeToo movement. We learn how she was a product of the casting couch process under the studio producer, played here by Lance Hendrickson. Hendrickson has been a long staple of the horror genre. The victims and killers in the Scream movies have all stemmed from family, and we see that play out here when the killer is revealed. It's further proof that the through line of the Scream trilogy demonstrates how sexual assault and trauma have lasting effects from one generation to the next. On top of Kevin Williamson, we also have to link the success of the Scream films to director Wes Craven, who did come back to helm the end of the trilogy. There are plenty of suspenseful sequences thanks to Kate Craven's strong eye. I mentioned a few of them already, and the big climax is equally thrilling. It takes place in a big Hollywood mansion full of secret passageways and hidden away bookcases. As a diehard Scream fan, I don't hate the third one as much as others. Sure, it's missing the wicked sense of humor, but I actually think it plays better now than when it did when it came out. It still remains a satisfying ending for our beloved characters. We learned that the ending of trilogies tend to break all the rules as they drudge up the past, and that certainly happens here. For those who were disappointed, hopefully Scream 4 was more up their style. Now don't forget to check out my reviews of the other Scream movies. Click subscribe on my YouTube channel for more. Next to the Halloween franchise, this really is one of my favorites in the Scream, in the horror genre. It's been fun to rewatch these movies as the humor, the kills, and these characters are just endless cinema fun. If you're a Scream fan, I'd love to hear from you. Go follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Scream franchise. And don't forget to go to my website, paulstripthemovies.com, for even more, as well as my look back at the Halloween franchise. Thank you so much for watching my review, my look back at Scream 3. This is Paul's Trip to the Movies.